2 letters, 1 word, meaning of life. Yeah. Happy Thursday. Let's get nasty. Previously on Kimba TV. So, here. So just remember that you could put blind limits in like that, but conceptually speaking, it's bullish only if they turn this into support. Schwiggity, schwaggity. How we doing? How we doing? Everybody ready to go? Everybody's caught up on the YouTube highlights and the highlights from the day before? We mathin'. Well, ladies and gentlemen, failed auction. Dink, dink, dink. Bearish retest. Here we are at the TPO. Everybody Gucci Magooch? Monkey Clip Chaser says, can you show us your long? You mean short? Make sure you get caught up on yesterday. Well, the last 2 days highlights, Monkey Clip Chaser. Last 2 days highlights, because it really starts with understanding why we went Zac Efron and why I was starting to talk about, yo, maybe we might need to hedge this. So it's not about like being, oh my God, we're going to go to 56. We were talking about, yo, this is starting to look bearish on this day. So if you missed the highlights on this day and you missed the Zac Efron TA, you definitely want to get caught up on that. This is the day we started to get a little bit bearish. So you don't want to get bearish just because it does this on you today. This is the day we were bearish, y'all. We started talking about, yo, should we hedge? I think we have to hedge. Fuck. Bugatti. And lo and behold, we already talked about this volume node, and we already talked about the TPO point of control. You guys know what the TPO point of control represents. It's time. Let's see if there's any chance of getting above it. All right, other than that, it's weekly options expirations. You know what it is. It's Boogamma time, y'all. You know we're going to be watching this, and you know we're going to be watching the options flow. Get nasty. Happy Friday. The plan is the plan. Make sure you're caught up. Start with this day's highlights. Start with 2 days ago's highlights. When we started talking about, yo, we might need to get into a short. Okay, and then watch yesterday's highlights when I'm talking about, yo, we might need to get into a short. Okay, and then watch how we watched this and we were talking about a bearish retest. Okay, and then we already talked about where the TPs are for the shorts and what the levels of interest are to the downside. The thing is there's none of this shit is surprising. We were talking about getting down here 2 days ago when we got the swing high, swing low, and we talked about this and the volume node, and we talked about the untapped naked point of control. Okie dokie. We talked about this last night. Talked about this last night. Gucci. So we've been talking about it coming down to this level for about 2 days now. And we've been talking about how to read the open interest, how to read the CVD. Okay, you tell me. Can you tell me if there's any sort of CVD edge? Can you tell me if there is a quote-unquote hidden bull div, perhaps? Can you tell me if hidden bull divs are reliable? Banana Man says no CVD div. Are you sure? This looks like a higher low and a lower low. That looks like a higher low and a lower low. What is that? This is all stuff that we talked about and anticipated days ago, gentlemen. This is like the quiz day. This is like quiz day when you figure out if you're actually learning or not. So like obvious, what do I, don't just try to blindly take and front run a hidden bull div, okay? Have you noticed that hidden bull divs on the higher time frame usually show up with a smaller regular bull div? You got to try to remember all the patterns and shit that we've seen. Let's get nasty, y'all. The math is the math, y'all. Schwiggity schwaggity. Let's go. Let's go. Who juicing? Who getting nasty? RK man, what's going on? Let me get you subbed up. But Banana Man, make sure that you have this, okay? Go Google divergence cheat sheet. Okay? So look, you should memorize all this. You see this? If the oscillation makes a higher low, but it makes a lower low on the oscillation, that's a hidden bull div. Higher low, lower low. That's a hidden bull div. Alrighty? Who is bottom? Who's opening shorts right here? Sato. So just do your best. Here's the thing, Vinso. You were here yesterday, right? How many times did we talk about this level? Somebody's got to have a clip. We've already drawn, Vinso, yesterday we already drew this Fibonacci. We already talked about this volume peak. We talked about this naked point of control, TPO. We talked about Kimba box. This is not the moment to start talking about, are you getting filled? Are you going to enter? That conversation was yesterday. Roger, do you remember when we talked about the TP for the short? So this is purely a moment of executing and reacting. You're not trying to figure shit out. If you're trying to figure shit out right now, you're trying to figure out where your stop loss would be, where your TP would be, do not take it. You got to have a little bit more respect for the game than that. You know what I mean? Would you show up for a big work presentation, you know, and just try to wing it? You know? If you have a really hot girl that you have a crush on, are you going to just wing it, or are you going to practice asking her out? And all you got to do is execute in the moment of when it's important. So do your best, but if you go back and watch the highlights from yesterday, we talked about identifying open interest nuke levels, mathematical levels, volume node, and we did a pretty classic thing yesterday when it comes to TPO and stuff like that. It's got to stay above or stay below for X amount of time, etc. Dink, dink, capped. Makes a lower low. That means that the next swing is here to here. You understand that? This range broke. So where did the range, when this broke, where did it start? It's here. Do you understand that, desk slap? So that means that you go from this high to this low, Kimba box, that's your entry. Stop loss is a higher high, or you could put it halfway behind the 8A6 and the 1. So you would have actually gotten full filled. You would have had an entry right at 7.5, and you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. It might just take repetition and experience, brother, but like that's super simple to me. So this is the range, okay? You lost the range. Where is the high before you lost the range? Here. So this is the Fibonacci range. That's perfect Kimba box, stop loss, higher high or 886. You would have gotten fulfilled. Arrow says, I thought we reclaimed that range again. To be honest, did you? I don't know if you missed it, Arrow Fury, but I actually drew a scenario like this. I literally drew this like this. And I said, if you do have penetration, okay, one, you never get bullish on the penetration, you get bullish on the bullish retest. And I literally talked about how if you do get above this line, you would want to actually do this. Spending time in the blue box is the only way that you know it's actually bullish. It never did that. We actually drew it just like this. I also said, watch the volume. So there you go, arrow. But we talked about this too. I hate to be the guy that says we talked about it. We talked about it. But we even talked about this scenario when if it does do this, don't get bullish on the penetration. Get bullish when it actually holds this price. When it went back to see if it can turn it into support, not enough. Not enough time. Couldn't even hold it for an hour and a half. And also low volume on the breakout. So that's okay. It's okay, but yeah, there you go, desk slap. I don't know if that helps or not. Alrighty, so this is your range. Oops. This is your range. It broke out. Where is the first candle that the range started from? It's here. So swing high, swing low. That's perfect Kimba box. Stop loss behind 886. And actually, I don't know if somebody clipped this, but I'm pretty sure we have something like this. I'm pretty sure we drew it like this, and it was to the naked point of control, like this. Swabe says we did. Yeah, we drew it like this yesterday. So anyways, it's don't worry about it. If you got stopped out in the short, there you go, desk slap. I don't know if that helps. Alrighty, I don't know if that helps, but there you go, desk slap. That's it. You know. Matsonsky says if 62.5 will be support, will volume rise? Theoretically, it should. Yes, you don't want any sort of low volume bullshit. Big volume means it's the truth. Fira says longing when Sato gets greedy and screams 58K. Well, so this is what I would say. Okay, this is the big daddy level that we all would like to see, right? Everybody sees the 59,000, right? Let me turn off the TPOs for a second so it's a little bit cleaner. All right, bad, really bad. Okay, so if it's gonna sweep 59, I don't know if it's gonna go to 58. Okay, and we already talked about like the 56s and the 57s, but again, identify your levels of interest. You should know where the volume nodes are. Okay, so if I'm gonna anticipate a 59 sweep, I actually would want it to go pretty, like go to like 56, 57. Right? So, yeah, 58, it could bounce from 58. Who the fuck knows at the end of the day? But we already talked about this potential sweep of the 59. I would look closer to 56, 57 if you're going to be looking for a 59 sweep. You know, and don't forget to sprinkle in a little bit of liquidity. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle in a little liquidity. Take a look at all the different time frames, and I think you're gonna see a little bit of confluence around the 56, 57. Just a, you know, food for thought. So, but yeah, we already talked about that. So I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. You know, if it wants to get nasty, I'm down. All right, we got a lot of work to do here. We know that this is possible and this is possible. Everybody good? The math is the math? Nugzar says, Kimba, will it be wrong to take long on the support at Golden Pocket? No, not really. But again, are you going to just blindly take it hoping that it bounces, or are you seeing something on the smaller time frame that you can recall happening previously, Nugzar, and I think I kind of answered your question when I talked about how, what if when the markets turn off and CME turns off, it sweeps the sweep again or some shit. And it does a regular bull div when it makes a lower low and it grabs the 7A6. So you've seen the higher time frame hidden bull div, but on the smaller time frame, it has a regular bull div. You know what I'm talking about? Because we've seen that maybe, I don't know, 10, 11 times the last couple of months. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I would be anticipating more that here's your thing right now, but it's up to you, Nugzar. Are you gonna just blindly take it, or do you see some sort of edge, like on the 5 minute or something like that, that you know that instead of sweeping, because do you see this? So and it's not just about being able to identify it, okay? Because there you go, CEO. So the question would be, okay, fine, it is bad, but has it not made a pretty weird pattern of not getting the bad lows and just going and leaving it behind? So identifying it is one thing, but being able to historically recall what that, usually entails, would be the analytical possibility. So there's been a shit ton of bad lows that just get left behind. You know what I mean? But that being said, that may end up being confluence for a single print grab golden pocket short, or closing out more than you normally would on your long at the golden pocket in a single print, since it's the weekend. Everybody is going to use that a little bit differently. If you're a little bit more bearish, in your subconscious, you're probably thinking this is going to get grabbed first. I'm going to wait to maybe sweep long, right? Or maybe you took a 382 short. If you're a little bit more of a bullish subconscious, you're probably going to, try to create the narrative in your head that, well, factually speaking, we have left a lot of bad lows behind. So it's not going to get grabbed, but since it is a bad low and it is the weekend, I'm going to close out. I was originally going to TP 10% here, but now I'm going to close 50% instead. So just like how I did this yesterday, put together your plans now so you don't have to freak the fuck out if it gets rejected at the 0.5 or if it gets rejected at the golden pocket. But relatively speaking, Temukas, okay, what I did was not that difficult. And there's a reason, even before I showed the position, okay, a bunch of your fellow brothers and sisters in chat were saying, we're already in that 7.5, baby. All right? So don't focus on how the fuck did I do it. Talk to your brothers and sisters that have been here for a long enough time to be able to do this with or without me doing it. That's the real treat. Okay? If I were to flex anything, it wouldn't be the closet, the crib, the setup, the positions, the wallet, the spot wallet. It would be how many lions I've been able to help juice. That's my real flex. So don't get it twisted now. Don't get it twisted now. Let's go. Crypto gains, is my long about to get destroyed? Stay tuned to find out. Crypto gains ain't nothing getting destroyed. You should get stopped out in profit. Alrighty? And I really do think that it's not about worrying if you're going to get stopped out or not. You should devote all that attention and focus into the next trade. So if you do get stopped out, well, is there a potential for a bull div? You and I both know what Aquaman's Trident can look like. And there's been many higher time frame hidden bull divs on the CVD that end up working out after a smaller time frame regular bull div. So whether it happens right now or it happens over the weekend, you're still going to have to navigate through the data. Okay, the prime example I gave earlier was, you know, if this happens and this does this again, and we had identified that level, and this is a bull div, and the CVD hidden bull div is still there. You know, don't be the guy talking about, yo, we got stopped out, Kimba, fuck. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, I got stopped out on the first one, but now my entry is right here. Oh, that's testnet. No. You got stopped out just like me. Fuck that shit. You gotta be able to see what's in front of you. Roger? We Gucci? Me personally, I would probably wait for one more 30-minute candle close because this isn't that great of a reaction. I would have wanted it to react much faster. So I would give it one more time. Otherwise, I think it's looking like it's going to go grab the bad lows. You know, everybody, we talked about it in the beginning, but those are bad, yeah? So there is a chance that it's going to swip. And that's the bull div that we might be getting, and that's the beginning. So if for some reason like this freaks you out, then you have the opportunity probably to play some sort of like trident too. You've got that opportunity and you've got that one. This one obviously would be much better because you saw it go back, you know. So bad low, bad low, bad low, bad low, and RSI looks like it could, you know, do this. Candle body close here, you know, bull div. And stop loss in profit, always. Yeah, but again, Rangy, observation is not TA, right? Any monkey can see that. The question to you that you should be able to answer me is the last three 1 hour hidden bear divs. Did they even make a lower low? Or how low did it possibly go? Push it, you know? If you really want to make the case for it and you want to dive into like, no, but the open interest was like this, you know, you could start to talk about it. But you know, just remember the overall context though, okay? Because look, I'm trying to get back the fuck in, okay? But none of this shit, you know, is really that surprising. We talked about it. We got the hidden bull div. We got the hidden bull div, you know? We got the hidden bull div, you know, 7.5, pixel perfect, you know? So I'm not going to try to short that though. You know, this has been the plan since last night. All right. And so you can kind of see where my mouse left off. That's going to almost line up precisely with this single print that we're coming up on. You know, this, okay. This is how we drew it. Except on this, that lines up right here, this node. So I wouldn't really be trying to, me personally, I wouldn't really be trying to, I wouldn't think about shorting until this level. But that's just me though. That's okay though. But honestly, you think like I'm a little bit bummed out, but and I'm not trying to make this sound some type of way. I'm a little bit bummed out, but honestly, do you feel like I can't do this shit? Let me regroup on Sunday. Let's pull another alpha thang out of our booty. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? But I'll put one of the, you know, goddamn, I got to respect the 886. And here's another bad low that doesn't get swept. Fuck these fucking clowns, man. But that's okay. Best believe I'm going to remember that. And y'all should remind me if you feel like I'm forgetting. you know? To be honest, I'm not bummed out because Kimba got stopped out too. Well, I don't know if that's like the best way to look at it. Okay, if I can offer any sort of condolence, I mean, that's awesome. And you should, and because at the end of the day, brother, whatever the reason is, you really shouldn't feel bad about anything. You know, I'm a little bit bummed. Okay, but we're gonna be I don't even feel bad for you. No, I mean, it's not about feeling bad or anything like that. You know, it's something to learn from. And you know what? There's a couple of things that we've already looked at where it's like, fuck, man, I should have known. You know what I mean? But I think MGK is gonna one hell of a highlight. This is all I would just say that we have to take away from this. Let's ignore the wick and let's ignore all that bullshit. But did we not talk about? Let's watch this. This is when it's not the penetration that we get bullish on. It's the retest, right? Basically, that's pixel perfect if you ignore the wick. If you want to really study more into the wick, well, we already know what the deal is, okay? I'm not going to really break it down too much. But if you don't want to get stopped out, then you're putting your stop loss halfway, if not on a lower low. Everybody that didn't get stopped out, you still kept it on a lower low. You said, yo, fuck that Kimba nonsense about taking tiny profit. Go bigger, go home. Look at that. More risk, more reward. And that in and of itself, the math is the math. So shout outs to you. That's fucking awesome. That's beautiful. To be actually, Lions, yeah, like actually, to be honest, yeah, I mean, you did make a higher high. So no, I mean, I would have done that if I went back in on a time machine. I'm doing that 95 out of every 100 scenarios. So I can't really change my mind after the fact. But that's awesome. But holds that. The wick doesn't really matter. Holds that. There you go. Get nasty. You guys good? Got stopped out too with that 886 wick. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Gecko. And you've got a warrior helmet on. God damn, the 886 again, man. You know. It's like, you know, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. Like, if I pay a little bit more attention to the bad low and I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're going to grab that bad low, I get fucked on the 886. You know what I mean? And then the one time that I do try to get cute and I have the pixel perfect entry at the 886 with a stop loss here, they go and grab the bad low, you know? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, what do you do when you have a 12 and the dealer has a 3? Right? It's one of those like 50-50s. I think it's one of those things where you just have to be consistent through your journey. You don't keep flip-flopping your strategy and you let the math play out. You know, but god damn, get nasty, y'all. Get nasty. Get nasty. Let's go. All right, well, the weekend is here. Markets are closed. Futures are running for about 50 more minutes, and then it's off to Macaulay Culkin weekend. Sunday night futures will come back. All right, stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. I think we went over the plan pretty exhaustively, so I think we're good. Yeah. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Alrighty, Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He says he's gonna smack the shit out of you. Stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys. I'm gonna miss you guys. Maybe I'll see some of you guys for a little bit tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you guys pre-market Monday. Try to be there when the stream starts because I might bust out that 15-second alpha. Let's go. Let's go. Get nasty. Get nasty. Market makers, do your thing. Shout out everybody. Peace, y'all. Have a great weekend.